Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityaṁ Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Ishani Shavatarakam Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanyakam Granthirarambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinira Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nija Vanchita Purana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Adi Lila, chapter 4. We read till text 145 yesterday, primarily talking about the second desire of the Lord, which is to experience or to taste his own madhurima, his supremely sweet madhura. And he wants to, when he sees his own self, a reflection, he gets mad. So all that we discussed yesterday. So we'll now move on to the next verse, which is 146, which is also in the same theme. Aparikalita purva kash chamatkarakari Sfurati Mangariya Isha Madhurya Puraha Ayam Aham Apihanta Prikshayam Lubdha Cheta Sarabhasam Upa Bhuktum Kamyaradhikeva. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Who manifests an abundance of sweetness greater than mine, which has never been experienced before and which causes wonder to all. Alas, I myself, my mind bewildered upon seeing this beauty, impetuously desire to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani. Purport. This is the text from Lalita Madhava 834 of Śrīla Rupa Goswami. It was spoken by Lord Krishna when he saw the beauty of his own reflection in a jeweled fountain in Dwarka. So, the jeweled fountain. This is the maybe one of the tiles, the floor tiles. Krishna saw that reflections in multiple forms in fountain. One time, there's a very interesting story about Krishna's seeing his own reflection. So this was in Vrindavan. Krishna was a baby holding makhan, holding this makhan, his makhan chore. So he has a pot of butter, and he's seeing himself in a jeweled pillar, and he's eating, but he's seeing that the reflection is also eating. and his whole face is covered with butter. So, and then Krishna says, okay, hey, I'm going to give you butter, talking to his reflection, but don't tell Mata Yashoda anything that we stole butter. Okay, so I'm going to give you butter. Okay, so you eat. Okay, but I have to also eat, so I'll eat. Okay, now you eat. Now I'll eat. So like that, he was feeding his reflection. And then this is the sweetness of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes a child who is little, very little, and doesn't even know what is reflection may get confused. Right? What is this? It takes some time for the child to know, right? At certain age, the child gets to know that this is a mirror, and mirror basically shows our own self. Of course, Krishna knows everything, but he acts like he doesn't know anything, just to give joy to Mata. Swaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam, to inundate the residents of Raja in the Ananda Kunda, in the pleasure pastime of his own, through his sweetness, through his naughtiness, through his pranks and whatnot. He would drown the residents of Raja. And Mata Yashoda was watching this, that Krishna is stealing butter, he's stealing butter. And not only that, so she was watching from behind another pillar so that Krishna does not stop. Because if Krishna sees Mata Yashoda is there, then he'll just run away or do something to hide in this pastime. The show would end. The show of Krishna and his reflection talking to each other. So, and then after a little while, after Mata Yashoda has seen what's going on, then she comes. And then Krishna's his eyes are big because he's caught red-handed. Now everyone would complain that Krishna steals butter, and now his whole face is also covered with butter, his hands are covered with butter, everything covered with butter. Now what to do? Now he can't even give any excuse. That earlier he would say, the Gopis would come, that your Kana steals butter. But Krishna would say, no, they are envious of me. That's why they're complaining. But he would sometimes say, well, they are not giving butter to the calves. So many reasons he would give. And but this time there was no excuse to be given for his crime of thievery, Makhan Chor. But then he is the Supreme Lord, he said. Before even Mata Yashoda could say anything, he said, "Oh mother, I know what you must be thinking. I know you must be thinking that I am the thief. But let me tell you, actually, I'm not the thief. You see this person in the mirror? He was trying to steal your butter, and I was trying to save. I was trying to tell him, don't steal Mata Yashoda's butter. So I was showing him a way so that your butter is not lost." So this is Krishna's sweetness. And then Mata said, okay, then why are your hands covered with all the butter? They said, no, actually the anklets you have put on my, the bracelets, they're so, sometimes my hand gets so warm. So just to cool them, I was putting in the butter. So like that, Krishna would do his wonderful sweet pastimes and look at his own reflection and overwhelmed with the beauty, wants to experience that beauty when he would see his own reflections. So let's see what's next verse, 147. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandar Pranam, all those to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 147. Krishna Madhuryera Eka Swabhavika Bala, Krishna Adi Nara Nari Kariye Chanchala. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The beauty of Krishna has one natural strength. It thrills the hearts of all men and women, beginning with Lord Krishna himself. Hari Bol. So we can see here, Prabhuji, as you wonderfully explained. So the beauty of Krishna is, it's natural, and it is natural strength, and it thrills everybody, all the men and women. And in fact, Lord Krishna himself, as you nicely explained, how he was, thrilled seeing his own, reflection, and he feeling better. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's the main purpose of the Supreme Lord, to show various pastimes, to thrill our heart with his loving pastimes. Because that's the real thing, that's the real sum and substance. Right now, one whose heart is completely filled with nonsense will be attracted to nonsense. Everything, even, like people like dance, drama, suspense, romance, thrill. Krishna's pastime has all of that. Lessons, stories, pastimes, philosophy, life lessons, management lessons. If we see the scriptures, if we see the Krishna's pastimes, we will get whatever we are looking for. So everything is there. Only if we have the right vision to see and be thrilled by that. Iti driksvalila bhirananda kunde swagosham nimajantam akhyapayantam. So let's see, what's the next verse teaching us? 148. Yes, Vipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Shri Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, download Pranam, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada, text 140. শ্রবণে দর্শনে আকর্ষয়ে সর্বমন আপনা আস্বাদিতে কৃষ্ণ করেন যতন. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki joy. All minds are attracted by hearing his sweet voice and flute, or by seeing his beauty. Even Lord Krishna himself makes efforts to taste that sweetness. So when I hear of my parents or at that age, at the time when there is no television and anything and no electrical lights, so when the sun sets, after taking the dinner, actually in the village everybody gets together, and the only thing they go through by Ramayana, Mahabharata, and same thing going on years after years, but still they enjoy every time they take the rasas from these pastimes of the Lord in Rama and Mahabharata. So that is the beauty of the Lord, that it can be heard again and again, and you are still feeling new, listening new and fresh. Back to Prabhuji.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhu. That's excellent. So the Lord likes to hear also his own pastimes. The famous, when Ram Katha was happening by Love and Kush, Lord Ram wanted to hear his own story. And in the perverted state, we see that everyone wants to hear their glories, right? Everyone wants to hear, except for humble, pure devotees. They run away from name, fame. Na dhanam, na janam. But on those who are not in that pure state, they want to hear that, oh, everyone should glorify me. Everyone should keep me as the center. But in its pure state, it's Krishna who is the center of everything. And Krishna also likes that. So the two words, Shravana, Darshane, Akarshye, Sarvamana. By the process of hearing and the beautiful form, the beautiful lordships, why do they come in the form of stone, marble, metal, in the mine, in the paper, different ways, the jewels, the 8 wood, all these deities, Lord Jagannath, Lord Gaur Nitai, Krishna Balaram, Radha Gopinath, Radha Shyam Sundar, Damodar, all these different forms of the Lord. What is the main reason for the Lord to come? To attract our heart. Akarshati iti Krishna. Krishna means akarshan. Right now, my heart is attracted to materialistic nonsense. But and how it will happen? The more we surcharge our eyes, our ears with Krishna consciousness, the more we go to the temple, the more we hear about Krishna, the more our akarshan will grow towards Krishna. Very simple. In the material life also, if we are hearing about, let's say, a Hollywood star, if we are meeting those people or their fans or those people who are just talking about that or seeing their pictures, seeing their movies all the time, what will happen? What will happen? Naturally, the attraction towards that person will grow. Very simple, whether it's a Hollywood star or cricket star or sports star or whatever. The real sum and substance is all these stars keep coming and going. Today, Mr. X may be the best Hollywood star. I don't know the names. 10 years back, Mr. Y must be the Hollywood star. 50 years back, someone else must be. Same with any sports, whether it's basketball, cricket, Wimbledon. Today, someone may be the world famous, but 20 years back, someone else was. We may not even know his or her name. 40 years back, someone else was world famous. So all these stars are not our real heroes. Our real hero is Krishna, Nagara, and his pure devotees. Their name fame is eternal. Like Prahlad Maharaj, the story happened millions and millions of years back, but he still remains hero, or our hero, always. So all these great souls, the pure devotees of the Lord and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, should be the subject, should be the Vishaya, should be the object of our mind and heart to hear, to see, to read the Bhagavad Gita. That's also the flute or his voice, right? All the minds are attracted by hearing his sweet voice and flute, isn't it? So that his voice is basically the song. Song is Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Or by his beauty. Whenever we go to the temple, we see the beautiful deities. Our heart is so attracted, so that we want to see more and more. As Rupa Goswami says that one pair of ears is not sufficient. One pair of eyes is not sufficient. So much nectar is in Krishna's name, form, qualities that I wish to have thousands and thousands and thousands of ears, thousands of eyes, so I can fully experience this sweetness. It's because it's so infinite. Of course, I am at a very insignificant level to even experience a drop of that infinite happiness, sweetness is very, very lofty goal. But nonetheless, if we continue, there is certainly hope and faith that we will get there by continuing the process of Shravana, Darshana, etc. Okay, so we'll move on to next verse. Yes, Lakshya Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. E Madhurya Mrta Pana Sadaye Kale Krishna Santi Nahe Krishna Bade Nirantare. Translation: the thirst of one who always drinks the nectar of the sweetness is never satisfied. Rather, the thirst increases constantly. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Prabhuji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you, Prabhu. So the word here is Madhurya Amrita. Amrita is nectar. One who is drinking Pana, to drink, Madhurya Amrita, this thing, mentally drinking the nectar of Krishna's sweetness. When we see the Krishna's form, it's called Netra Utsava. It's a festival for eyes, where we are drinking Krishna's beauty through our eyes. When we are in the Holy Name Festival or Shravana Festival, it's called Shravana Utsava, where we are doing Shravana and hearing the beauty of the Lord, or drinking the beauty of the Lord through the medium of our ears. Sada jai kare, one who does so, what happens? Trishna shanti nahi, Trishna bade nirantare. So we're not talking about the material Trishna. Material Trishna is like Mriga Trishna, which we discussed, I think, in Canto 4 or 5 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is called Mriga Trishna. Like a mriga or a deer is running after the happiness, after the Kasturi Mrig is running after the Kasturi. Where is that fragrance coming from? Runs north, south, east, west. And what happens? Ultimately, the hunter comes, the deer is exhausted, the hunter just kills him and takes out the happiness or the musk, the story which was inside the body of the deer. Similarly, the pure love of God is there, the real happiness is there. So, he is never satisfied or satiated. He is never satisfied in the sense, he always wants to do more. Always wants to do more. A devotee is never satisfied in the sense that I wish I could do better. I wish I could do more. Sign of humility. One does not feel, okay, chanting, ho gaya aaj ka band, that's it. Kaam khatam, paisa hajam. It's not like a burden which, I somehow got that burden done. When there is love, we want to do more and more. The more we do, we still feel it's less. That's spiritual life. Because it gives so much joy to the heart, as we were discussing about Rupa Goswami. It was not a burden for him. If it was a burden for him, why would he ask thousands of eyes, thousands of ears to hear the holy name? Haridas Thakur, what was his condition? His condition was he could not stop chanting. Right? So he would do chant 24 hours. 24 hours, next day 24 hours, next day 24 hours, practically 192 rounds. So the Maya Devi Sakshat could not allure Haridas. Why? Because one whose mind is completely attached to Krishna, things, the Trishna of this world cannot do anything. So hunger here, spiritual hunger. In material life, we should always be satisfied. Right? By doing our dutiful endeavor, whether it's for job, whether it's for studies, whether it's for any other thing, and whatever is in our destiny will be given to us by the due course of time. Dutiful endeavor should be there. Atyahar should not be there. Prayasas, over endeavor should not be there. Especially in Grihastha Ashram. So we should nicely balance. We are not like whatever will come, we should be satisfied with that dutiful endeavor and be happy. But in spiritual life, one should never be, never feel that, I have done a lot. Now let me just kind of not do for the next 3 months. I'll just relax. Or for next 3 years, I'll just have done. No, in spiritual life, we should always try to do more and more to the best of our capabilities and the best of our capacity, and never be satisfied. In material life, we should always see people who are less accomplished than us. Then we will be happy and satisfied. If I see, this person earns 5 times more than me, this person has like a 5 times better car than me, this person is a multi-millionaire, this person has this, then I will always be suffering and be complaining, grudging, why I don't have that one. Rather than I should see there are so many people, thousands and thousands, they live on the street. Will they have enough to eat the dinner tonight? They are not sure. And I'll be grateful. Krishna, thank you. Whatever you have given me is best for me. So I'm so grateful. At least I don't have to worry about whether I will sleep on the street today or I'll have some place to sleep tonight, or whether I'll have a basic food tonight. At least I have to not think about that. So I'm very grateful. And I pray for those who may not be so fortunate. Then we'll be humble, then we'll be grateful, and on the spiritual side, we should always see those who are doing better than us. Those who are chanting nicely, we should take inspiration from them. Those who have taste for serving Vaishnavas, those who are humble, etc. Whatever quality we are aspiring for, whether it's book distribution, music, or prasad, anything we want to learn, anything we want to grow in spiritual life, we should see who is doing that better. And Krishna will give us, if we are looking for the right thing, Krishna will send the right person. And then we can take their good association, and then we will also develop those qualities. So this thirst increases constantly. So in our service thirst, our spiritual hunger should be always good. Should not be as we progress in bhakti, the hunger dies down. Right? Rather, the hunger should increase, thirst should increase. This is a sign that whether we are truly experiencing the sweetness of Krishna. Because it said here that those who always drink that nectar, they are constantly thirsty. Their thirst constantly increases. This is a sign either we're really experiencing the sweetness of bhakti or Krishna consciousness or Krishna, right? Then that means it should grow. One should be happy doing seva. So just some thoughts. Any other comments anyone has in this text or additions? Okay, we'll move on to.
So Prabhuji, again back to the basic to square. So in spiritual life, thirst should be increased, or you say that chanting should not be burden. But to me, chanting is a burden. How to make it to sweetness? Any process? Because any kind of like constructive process that do this much, then you can get better.
So one thing is, Prabhu, that sometimes we may feel like that, but it is a great sign of your sincerity, Prabhu. It is a great sign of your sincerity. If it would have been really a burden, then you would not get up every day at 4:30 to take that burden. It's a burden of love, right? It's a burden of love, burden of responsibility, maybe, and burden that in the beginning. And when we say beginning, we're talking about not just few years. We're talking about the eternal span of the soul. Radhanath Maharaj mentions in this that whether we feel like or don't feel like, we must continue. Then Prabhupada is pleased. And Guru is pleased. Guru Parampara is pleased. When we feel like, that's not difficult. When we do what we feel like, or when we feel like, that's relatively easier. Oh, I feel like chanting today, I'll chant 2 rounds. Okay, done. But even when we don't feel like, but we have made a commitment for our own good, that yes, it may be troublesome. Yes, there will be days it will be troublesome. The days it will be the last priority on our mind. There will be smoother days, there will be tough days, but we must continue. We must continue having firm faith. And at the same time, we should also see about how am I chanting also. I'm not talking specifically to you, I'm talking to myself. So we should see also how am I chanting? Am I pronouncing properly? Am I not missing words in the chanting? If my mind is deviating during chanting, am I trying to consciously bring it back? And basically, try to follow the tips for good chanting and proper pronunciation, proper hearing, trying to call out the Supreme Lord in a humble state, in a prayerful mood, proper pronunciation, not skipping the words, very important. And then praying, Krishna, please help me to develop that taste. Krishna, as the Lord Chaitanya is praying, when will I get that taste? When will my eyes choke up? My voice choke up by chanting the holy name? When will my tears flow? When will my eyes flow with tears? So that we should continue. At the same time, we must also do some services which give us joy. Right? Any service gives you joy, which you want to do more and more. Anything you want to share?
Yep, Prabhuji, definitely dancing with the kirtan and then eating prasadam. And another thing is the like decorating the deities with flowers.
Yes, these are excellent. So we should do always those services as well, which give us joy. So a healthy balance of those will help. So we all should do, and it could be different for different. As you said, like dancing in the kirtan gives you joy, but someone may not. For someone, it may not be so joyful. They may, whatever their nature or to their health situation. Like Nandi Mataji, feels so inspired by book distribution, which is great, right? So in management, they teach here, like some people, get energy by doing certain process, and some people get de-energized by certain things. So we have to see in bhakti what energizes us. What energizes us. This is, and I'm sure we all have at least one or two of those services which energize us. So we should never leave those services. If they are aligned with Guru Sadhu Shastra, we should never leave those services. Those are like our energy boosters. So honoring prasad, we say honoring prasad, yeah. You honor prasad, you distribute prasad, that's very nice. You chant, dance in the kirtan, make everyone dance, offer flowers, and with every flower you can pray to Krishna. Please help me to chant better, to serve better. So all this will energize us. So these are some of my thoughts, but I'll love to hear everyone's thought on this wonderful question, which is actually for everyone's benefit. So thank you for asking such a nice question or making that comment. Anyone would like to share their thoughts or experiences or comments on this? You will?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. Can I share?
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, it is actually, Prabhuji, last in Bankim Prabhu's home during the DT installation, I told His Grace Ramya Prabhuji that Prabhuji also Gaunita wants to come to our home too. Then Prabhuji asked me that, are you following all the regulative principles, and are you chanting 16 rounds? If you do not chant 16 rounds, Gaur Nitai will never come to your home. So before, and that was a Kartik month time, and my vow was to chant at least 16 rounds. Prabhuji, and previously I was not able to do 16 rounds. So as soon as Prabhuji told me that, and I was thinking like, oh, Gaur-Nitai will not come if I won't chant at least 16 rounds, because they're very merciful. So immediately, Prabhuji, in the next day, I told Ramya Prabhuji that when I started 16 rounds, but I told Prabhuji, is that just one day what you told me, and it make me inspired. Like, if Gaur-Nitai won't come, I have to do that. So I did that 16. I started 16 rounds in the next day. And Prabhuji, it's for you or all of you. It's so exalted. It's for you. It's 16 rounds is maybe it's very less amount, but for me, devotee like very fallen person like me, 16 rounds for me is like, for Gaur-Nitai, I can do that. And now, Prabhuji, every day at least I'm chanting 16 rounds and also some extra rounds before going to bed. So that, like, Prabhuji, because that is like very inspiring for me when Prabhuji told me that. And that time I realized how much I want that our Gaur-Nitai come to our home and fill this home, like do not want to go leave the house, like that I was thinking to do. So it's very that's what I thought I will share with you. Hare Krishna.
Oh, this is excellent, Mataji. All glories to your sincerity of inviting the Lord. Yeah. The more we call out, chanting is basically calling out, Lord, please come and engage me in your service. Give me a chance to serve more and more. That's basically chanting. So thank you for your sincerity. It also shows that the words of pure devotees, strike the heart, right? Although at that time maybe you felt a little bad, like, why is Prabhuji saying so, right? So because the words of Guru are heavy, sometimes pure devotees they have nothing but selfless intention. Because generally we want Guru, Sadhu, Senior Vaishnava to say, oh, Gaur-Nitai is coming. Yes, very nice, very nice. We want to hear what we want to hear, right? But sometimes your devotees give a message, which is the truth. You have to, if you're wanting to get deities, you should take blessings from Senior Vaishnavas, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Because otherwise, there are so many lectures, even the basic lectures. If we get the deities, but we don't have no time to serve them, we're not doing the basic things which are expected, chanting, reading, hearing, sharing Krishna consciousness, and have no time to offer them different paraphernalia, bathe them at least once a week, once in 2 weeks, etc. As far as possible, once a month at least, minimum. Then all the devotees, not that I am saying so, all the devotees say that then they'll be just dolls, like dolls or decorative pieces. At home, there may be some decorative pieces, everyone has some. So we don't want dolls or decorative pieces. We want to serve the Lord. So yeah, very nice point. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else wants to add to that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Even my quality of chanting is not good, Prabhuji. I know that, but I try to chant. But Renka asked, this question to Maharaj, Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj, last time when Maharaj was here at home. But Maharaj said a very nice example. Even though we are chanting, the quality may not. She asked if the chanting will have any good if the quality is not good. Maharaj said, if a child puts his hand into the fire, it burns. So the chanting is like that. Even though, of course, you have to pay attention and chant, try to chant nicely, as you said, by hearing and chanting nicely, but it will not go in vain. So that's what Prabhuji, please add here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, absolutely. It will never go in vain. Neha Vikramanashasti Pratyavayu na vidyate. The effect may be slow or little, but it won't be waste. So nothing spiritual is waste for sure. So now the other comment addition is, okay, anyways we are doing it. So why should we get only little result out of it? So why don't we try our best to get the most result out of it? Anyways, we are investing the time, energy. So we can try to invest our mind also in there. Again, easier said than done. But what Krishna said to Arjuna, as the mind goes back to different things, try to bring back. Yes, controlling chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadridam. It's very, very difficult to overcome, but abhyasena tu kante. Abhyas, practice. Prabhupada says in 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, if we continue to practice chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then at the time of death, we will be able to chant purely Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the moment of practice. The more we practice, the better the chances. The more we, let's say, consciously practice. The more we consciously practice, the better it will be. Okay, anyone else? Okay, we'll read the next verse then. Is it okay, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. It encourages a lot. Thank you.
Yes, and there are a lot of books and literatures available on this, lectures by many senior devotees. So yeah, if we are, we can always have a list of our favorites that when we are feeling down and chanting, we can hear that. When we are feeling attracted to materialistic thing, we can hear this lecture. Like that, we can all try to develop our favorite kind of playlist or favorite some verses or something. We can, and as we feel my eyes very strong, allured in different ways, or spiritually weak and things like that, we can hear those. And if not, hear Prabhupada's class or Prabhupada's books, we will get the answer. So, okay. So where were we? Yeah, the thirst, spiritual thirst. So we covered that. So 150. Anyone wants to read? Nandini Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhupada. Pranam devotees. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Atripta haya kare vidhiranindana avidagdha vidhi bhala na jane srijana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Such a person, being unsatisfied, begins to blaspheme Lord Brahma, saying that he does not know the art of creating well and is simply inexperienced. Haribo. Back to you, Prabhu. Would you like to add?
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Mataji. I'm just reminded of a few examples here. The Gopis are blaming Brahma's creation. Hey, why did you create this eyelid? Because for a tiny fraction of a second the eyelid closes, we are bereft of the darshan of the Supreme Lord. The Gopis are blaming Brahma's creation, Srajana. Bhala na jane Srajana. So Brahmaji does not know the real art of creation. And Śrīla Rupa Goswami said, I should have got thousands of years. 2 years are not sufficient. Again, in one way, blaming Brahma's creation, isn't it? So many verses are like that. So many prayers. Nowadays also, we may feel that so many wonderful Vaishnavas are giving so many wonderful classes every day, right? So many Prabhupada's classes, so many Prabhupada's books, so many senior Vaishnavas' books, so much to read, so much to hear, but unfortunately, alas, the time is very limited. So even though if someone is just hearing 24 hours Krishna Katha, still one cannot complete all the content available. Because every day more than 100 hours of classes are uploaded. I'm just giving like number there, maybe 200, maybe 500 probably. Because there are thousands of devotees all across the globe reading Prabhupada's books, reading under the bona fide Guru Parampara, sharing Krishna Katha. So that's also kind of a flaw in Brahma's creation. How do we kind of... So again, it's not really like a blame. Devotees don't blame anyone. Devotees, this is just like a transcendental... The main point is to share how much love they have towards Krishna and the process of Krishna consciousness. Haridas Thakur not even sleeping. They're blaming that why do we have to sleep? Your devotees are sometimes, and then they will minimize, like, of course we're not asking anyone to imitate by sleeping 2-3 hours, but the great Goswamis would just sleep 2-3 hours, Prabhupada 2-3 hours, hardly. So in short, this only shows that such a person who always wants to do more and more bhakti, more and more reading, more and more hearing, seva, and nothing can stop one's service. So, and some examples are also shared here. So maybe let's read that one of those. 151. Prabhu, want to read?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu, Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. 151. Koti netra nahi dilo, shobe dilo dui, tahate nimesha, Krishna ki dekhibo mui. Translation by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. He has not given millions of eyes to see the beauty of Krishna. He has given only 2 eyes, and even those eyes blink. How then shall I see the lovely face of Krishna? Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you.
Well, thank you, Prabhu. Would you like to add some thoughts to this verse?
Definitely, this verse has been was spoken by the Gopis. Only I can. I mean, before you asked me to read, I was just looking at this verse, and as I was thinking that it is, I cannot conceive that the Gopis, they were, I mean, how much they love Krishna. It is kind of like inconceivable for me. Will you please add the correct?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So the pure devotees are praying that, O Brahma, you should have given us millions of eyes so that we can constantly pour the nectar of Krishna's beauty, his lovely face, through the medium of our eyes. But alas, you have given only dui netra. That is a big flaw. And those also have a tahate nimisha. Nimish is a demigod in charge of the blinking of the eye. Anyone knows the word nimisha? Anywhere it comes?
Shishtastakam.
Yes,
Like a tapa, like 12 years. The Nimish feels like a 12 year in Govinda Virahename.
Juga itong nimeshana. Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. It's the last verse, right? What's the full verse?
Juga itong nimeshana chokshusha pabrishaitam shunya itong jagat sarvam govinda virahename. This is the second last. Last one is the Aslishyava Padaratan.
Yes, Prabhu, want to share the meaning also?
Juga itong.
Oh, you went on mute, Prabhu.
It says Jugai itang nimeshana chokshusha pabrishaitam shunya itang jagat sarvam govinda virahename. Here is saying that the nimesha is like one corner, like it's just a moment. It looks like jugaitam, like say one juga. It looks like nimeshana, and just one corner we miss you, and it looks like we are missing you forever. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. Your separation from your Govinda, it looks like 12 one jugas that, but it's just because as nimesha is like one corner, like just a moment even missing. I mean, the Gopis, they were like very much udbeg. They have like so much anxiety that just for one corner, if we miss Krishna, it looks like it's like a one jugas going I mean to them. So that's you if you can kindly read the exact translation.
The 7th verse, Prabhu. Thank you. So the word nimi again, it's the blinking of the eyebrow. Nimishena here we see is basically like a fraction of a second, or somewhere mentioned as 1/12 of, or a moment, 1/12 of a second, or 1/7 of a second. Very, very minuscule quantum of time. But that time, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment or nimisha, 12 years or more. and tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I'm feeling this all vacant in the world in the absence of you. Shunya, void, absence. Jagat Sarvam, all this world is vacant. Shunya. Govinda Virahena. Viraha is Lord's separation. Has any one of you misplaced your child ever? Like in a fair or somewhere in the market? The child, kind of was lost. It's happened to any one of you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's happened. And to share that experience with?
Yeah, it's like in the, I think, in the fair, Prabhuji, I think one of the fair. So we lost and we were looking for him. Krishna always, he goes somewhere. So it was, a little tense moments at the time. Looking here, there, as you said, it feels like so long.
It's so long, right? Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Because I've seen the anxiety of the parents. We were in Kartik Yatra 2019 and actually Padmasakhi Mataji was there and Dina Krishna was missing in action. So we were all having prasadam together. It was all yatra, all devotees around, 7,000 devotees, everyone, devotees, Vrindavan down. Everything was good. This child, like 5-year-old, 7-year-old, I don't know his exact age, but missing. And I can't forget the expression of Mataji, and it was so much, which is all good. Mother's love is compared to very close to, not very close, but the closest in the material world to spiritual love. Of course, Krishna's love is million times more than millions of mothers put together. We cannot compare Krishna's love towards his child, but to experience that, even the father, I would say, is still less worried. All the fathers, not talking about anyone in general, but the mother is really worried. And it was just maybe less than few minutes, he was back. Like somehow we found him through running, everyone running in different directions, trying to see where he's gone. But it was less than 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes were like 50 years for her, or more, right? So through these examples, we can understand, or even not understand, who can understand? Even Krishna cannot understand about his Madhurima. But and Gopis are the pure embodiments of Ashra Vigraha. Krishna is the pure Vishaya Vigraha. We cannot fathom the emotion they are experiencing, but at least we can experience a very infinitesimal fraction of that. So by these exchanges in life, those 5 minutes appeared to be a very long time, as if her life is gone, right? As if her everything is gone. So, but somehow Krishna was merciful and he was back in this under 5 minutes. It was a very long time. And then we see that. So now at one point, the mother really loves the child, but at the other point now she's scolding the child, right? Isn't it? So it is also a contradictory of emotions. Scolding and love, they generally, people may not take it together. But when there is pure love or tinge of pure love, then she's scolding the child. So just thought to share that. It came to my mind. So any other comments before we stop for today?
Krishna Prabhuji, so just wanted to say, I have heard that, this verse about the blinking of the eyes. I have heard that the demigods don't blink, Prabhuji. So is it true, Prabhuji? Immortals, or I have heard when I was small.
Immortal? You said
Yeah,
immortal?
or the immortals or the demigods, who drank Amrit, they don't blink their eyes.
Who is immortal? Brahma is also not immortal.
Not immortals, actually. So maybe the demigods. I don't exactly remember. So have you heard anything, Prabhuji? The demigods don't blink their eyes, like Vayu.
Prabhu, if we Google, it says Bhāgavatam says, Devi Bhagavad Purana 6.15 says that demigods don't blink. But Prabhupada never said that, so I don't think it matters if they blink or not to me. Just my opinion. And back to you, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yeah, not sure, Prabhuji. Maybe not. I'm not aware. But I heard that they are like in the air, they don't step on the ground, but certainly it's red. So, but I think the point is that how much attraction. The point is not about the blinking of the eye. The more the point is, the deeper that a minute separation from Krishna appears to be like that. So it's not that, okay, Indra is like said to be as Sahasraksha. He has 1,000 eyes, or a lot of eyes he has. But are those eyes completely absorbed in drinking the beauty of the Lord, as the Gopis are doing? Probably not. Yes, Indra is a devotee, of course, great devotee, but not to the extent of how the Gopis are engaged in. So yeah, I mean, just to kind of link with that example, there were thousands of other. I mean, I was also concerned about Dina Krishna missing, but was my concern level equivalent to that of Padmasakhi Mataji? Certainly not, right? Now, there were others also who were concerned. Maybe their concern level was even lower than mine, because they don't even know who this Dina Krishna is. So the point here is that because she has the most love towards Dina Krishna. So it's not about just whether the eyes blink or not, but what are we doing with that eyes? That's the deeper point. Okay, so we'll wrap up here. Thank you. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Śrī Prabhupada ki jai. Samasta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Dhanavad. Prabhu, you didn't post today that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class is starting. So I was like, okay, the notification is coming. Maybe that's why not many people joined today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or maybe I didn't. Yeah.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
letting you. No. It's letting you know so that you know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No. That
Generally, I posted. Yeah, today I missed somehow. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding, Mataji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Dhanavad.
Hari Paul.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.